All right, a bit to all our attendees this morning. It's good the past few years, these virtual events, virtual breakfast functions, and of course, conferences have proved to be amazing. And it's another great one this morning, insightful, and of course, the big one by Experian. And the topic today is minimizing your own credit risk and what to look for when extending credit terms. And of course, we're really proud of the Financially Fit campaign powered by Experian and the NSBC. And all, it's credit scores and improving one's credit score and all these factors around credit reports is such an important part of life as a business owner. And the campaign is going on, and of course, will continue to do so. But good morning, everybody. Please let us know on the chat where you're from. Is this your first time on the platform? And it's always nice to see, I always say it's amazing, this platform, historically in the pure physical events, localized except for your national conferences. But here we enjoy the company of people from all over the country. And of course, we have that ability to sit in our own environment and get the same result achieved. So it has been enormous. Claudette, good morning to you. Stefan, good morning to you. And here again, if you've got any questions as we go along, please put them on the chat. I'll try my best to be able to answer. If not, we'll get back to you afterwards. But it just makes it more interactive and more insightful. And that's why, right from the outset, we decided that these discussions, virtual events, would always be in a Q&A and interactive format. And it's proved to be really amazing from that perspective, more meaningful and more gets done. And of course, more insights are transformed. Morning, Jack. Morning, Robert. Oh, Robert from Howick. Well done. Oh, morning to you, Robert. Good to see you. So I think what we must do is let's welcome our guest this morning, Mandy Pretorius. Mandy is the Experian Head of Product. Mandy, please join me on stage. We certainly look forward to your insights this morning.
Good morning, Mike, and good morning, everybody that has joined us. So happy to be here and to share the knowledge that we have with the team. Really looking forward to today's session.
And Mandy, the insights from Experian over the past good few weeks now have been really well received by business owners who run SMEs, and most agree these insights and these takeaways from these discussions have really helped many out there in many ways. Access to funding is a big area, favorable credit terms is a big area, and improving one's credit score as the foundation is such an important area. And like Mandy, over the past few weeks, before we started this campaign, very, very few business owners realized that they were actually in control of their own credit report, and they are in control improving their credit scores. So I'm as personally, I've learned an immense amount, and certainly it helps me in my personal environment because you can make positive changes and you can get better and better, especially I find on favorable credit terms, if you've got that credit score. So Mandy, your role at Experian, maybe a bit of insight there before we start.
So I head up product development for Experian. That means I'm the one that's building the products that help our financial service providers provide these loans and that to small businesses. But I'm also looking at products that can help small businesses. Small businesses in South Africa have become very important to us. It is the key for our economy to grow, to create new jobs, and for us to move forward into the future. And they haven't had the focus needed in the past. And I think that this initiative that you've been running over the last couple of weeks has been so powerful because it's really helping our small businesses gain a bit of traction, understand what they need to do in business and move forward. We are definitely seeing the next area of growth being our SMEs, and we want to do everything to support them.
Yeah, we can see that. I know Experian has been a major player, and you kind of walk the talk, and you've done that, and you've changed a lot of thinking behind that, and your passion for small business stands out, and we've certainly seen that not only over the past few weeks but over the past few years. So it's lovely Experian such a big partner of the NSBC, and the association has really proved to be invaluable, and the insights passed on well received. So Mandy, let's get into I've got a couple of key questions here this morning, and I've looked at them just now and I find them amazingly insightful. Minimizing your own credit risk and what to look for when extending credit terms. Mandy, what does it exactly mean?
Great. So managing your commercial risk is not a walk in the park. You're trying to help your own business grow, but you need to mitigate your risk in keeping your bad debt to the minimum, as well as run an efficient team, because you don't want to increase your costs. So the decisions that you make can have a huge impact on your business, and you need to do it correctly.
Sure. Okay. And Mandy, we've all heard of trade credit. Can you explain this?
Yes. So trade credit. So as your business grows, as you're getting a bit bigger and you're getting more customers, you might find that your customers need to buy more goods, but they can't afford those goods until they've actually sold the goods. So what trade credit is where you extend terms to some of your clients, the ones that have good credit records. And this is a term of short-term finance that you as a business are providing. So the customer doesn't need to go to a bank. They don't need to take out a loan. You are saying to them, I'm giving you the opportunity to pay this debt over a period of time. So this arrangement allows customers to buy goods or services on account without having to make immediate payment or going to the bank for a loan. The payment terms vary, so they can be 30, 60, or 90 days, just depending on the amount of risk the business is willing to take and how much they can offer without themselves going into a place of financial difficulty.
And Mandy, what is the real benefit of trade credit?
So when you are able to give somebody trade credit, you are encouraging loyalty, because your customer is going to come back to you to buy the goods that he needs. So it builds loyalty. It helps your customer place larger orders, which helps your business grow and your customers grow. So it's a very symbiotic relationship.
Okay. And what on the opposite side, what is the disadvantage of trade credit?
Although this is where the issues come, because if you do not make the correct decisions and you lend to somebody who isn't able to pay you back or disappears with the goods and never pays you back, you put your business at risk. So you need to make informed credit decisions. You need to put processes in place that do these checks before you grant credit. And unfortunately, some credit lenders will take advantage of your goodwill and they will pay you late or never at all. And the other thing that we need to take into consideration at the moment, and we're seeing so much more of this happen, is that fraudsters will take opportunities to obtain goods with no intention of paying it back. And so you end up running a loss.
Okay. Now, Mandy, another important one. What should a business owner check before they extend credit?
So as a business, there are certain checks that have been around in the market for many years, and they are proven. And the business owners should implement these to ensure that they've done their due diligence before extending credit terms. And they are known as the 5 C's of credit. So character, this is the customer's willingness to pay and meet obligations. And then we have capacity. This is the customer's ability to meet the credit obligation. And then we've got capital. This is how much financial reserve does that customer have? Collateral. So this is where the customer can pledge an asset in case of a default. So this could be a collateral as in a property or any other sort of asset that they're willing to provide as collateral, and then the conditions. And these generally refer to our economic conditions. So what we find is when economic conditions are tough, especially in certain sectors, because we know that we go through phases, you need to be sure that you understand what the economic conditions are in that sector.
Okay, now Mandy,
I
can you
hope
explain?
everybody's got
Yes, no, absolutely. And possibly if you could explain each one in a little bit more detail, Mandy.
Yeah, so with your character, you can check the credit history by using the Experian credit report. And the things that you're going to verify is this a registered company? Is it a legitimate business activity, legitimate actively trading entity that is paying their annual returns to CIPC?
Yeah.
That is on our credit reports, and you would see it there. How long has the business been in business? You might decide that a business that has only been open for a year or maybe two, they have just been in business for too short a time for you to make an accurate decision. Even a few months, that is really risky. How many directors are involved versus one director versus multiple directors could also influence your decision. The experience of these directors in running a business, how long have they been busy running businesses? And with the Experian reports, what you would see is you would see how long that particular director had been in this particular business, and you would also see if he had had other businesses before this. How does this company pay other suppliers? This is a great indicator, because if they are paying other suppliers, the chance that they are going to be paying you is highly likely. Okay. Then, has a company got a negative court record against them? These are judgments, and we can look at the judgments at a company level as well as a principal level. Again, you need to make assessments on the different types of judgments and how much the value of the judgment was taken for to make an accurate decision. And then we also need to look at where the business is located. If they are located in a different province, and that service is readily available in the province that they are, you need to question why are they coming to a different province to buy the goods. We are finding that in fraudulent activity, we have a lot of, let's say, companies based in Pietermaritzburg trying to buy goods everywhere else in South Africa where they could buy those goods easily in Pietermaritzburg. That's an indication that you need to investigate further. Then we look at capacity. So this is how the borrower's ability to pay the loan by comparing the income that the company is getting against its recurring debts. For this, you need to view our Experian risk grade score. We call this the commercial Delphi, and this is a great indicator of risk. The higher the credit facility required, it would be beneficial to request the latest audited financials as well. So if somebody is asking for a credit term of 20,000 Rand versus 500,000, you would obviously want to see financials for 500,000. Capital. Capital would be anything the business owns and contributes to building wealth. This can include financial assets like cash equivalent, marketable securities, and tangible equipment such as machinery or other equipment, and we're talking about heavy vehicles and things like that. So those are the things that you need to look at, and you would look at those relative to the amount of credit that is being requested.
You also have some key... Sorry.
And then we look at collateral. So this helps the borrower secure a loan. It gives the lender the assurance that if the borrower defaults, he can take something back from that borrower and sell to recover the money that might not be able to take back. So the borrower can cede their debtor's book, they can sign surety of a property, and this agreement will then allow the lender to claim from that collateral in the event that the borrower doesn't repay the loan. So it's just a little bit of a security policy for them. And then conditions. These can refer to how a borrower intends to use the money. If, for example, the borrower has made an application for a new events company, they were starting during the beginning of a pandemic when we were in lockdown, it would not be likely to succeed, and it would be very difficult for them to repay credit. So you need to have a look at that. And like I said, different verticals experience different economic conditions. Oh, sorry. Sometimes we have the mining industry that's down, and other times it's the building industry that's down, and then vice versa. They could be booming at certain times, and it's those things that you need to take into consideration.
Yeah, great, Mandy. I think many of them, for me personally, I mean, I've learned a few things there which I didn't realize what was so important in the equation. But now, once you have onboarded a client, what's next?
So when you've done all the credit checks, you've offered the credit facility to the borrower, everything should be right. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Once the client has been onboarded, you still need to keep a finger on the pulse of your debtors book. Especially when your book starts to grow, you want to keep track of existing customer base to know if those customers are still in business. Do they have any additional court records that have happened? Are the directors changing? Have they had any changes in payment behavior? And Experian can assist you with this, because you need to know at any one time how your debtors book is looking. And this helps you mitigate risk. So how we do this is we can monitor your customer base for you by alerting you when something significant changes and could have an impact on your credit decisions. So for example, a business score changes, they might move into a high risk band. You might want to reduce their credit facility or start checking in with that credit team regularly to know that your payment is still secured for the months to come.
Okay.
This service, just so that you guys are all aware, is called BI Alerts. And we provide you the alerts in real time, and they can come to your mail, they can come to you via integrations or via a spreadsheet, just depending on how you want to consume them.
Okay. Mandy, can you explain the value of requesting bank codes and or reviewing the audited financial statements?
Sure. So a bank account number are classified as personal identified information with POPIA that came into effect 1st of July 2021. And this has really changed our landscape when we come to requesting bank codes. Traditionally in South Africa, the bank code was the be-all and end-all of credit vetting. It was an indication to businesses that a company was doing okay, there was money in the bank, and they could pay their accounts. However, due to POPIA, some of the banks have decided that they're no longer going to provide bank codes. We are still able to request bank codes from a few participating banks, but we have to check that you've got the correct consent clauses in place. When the code is returned, the account number of that bank account number will be masked so that personal identifiable information is not exposed. If you're provided with audited financial statements, you can use these to check the key ratios and check the financial health of the business. Experian has an in-house analytics team, and when we receive the annual financial statements, they can be submitted to Experian for review, and we can give you pointers on what those financial statements look like and whether the company is actually in a good space. One of the things we're also finding with fraud is that people are using fraudulent financial statements. So always be on the lookout for that. If something doesn't make sense in a financial statement, question it.
Okay. And then does Experian offer account verification? And can you explain what this is?
Yes, so in Experian, we offer account verification. This is known as an acronym as AVS. And that means we check to see that that bank account that you've been given is an actual bank account that can accept debits and credits and is active. So we allow you to efficiently verify the bank details of that consumer or small business owner. We are able to determine the account status. So it's a web service that allows for third-party integration. And you can submit and receive these records as either batch files that you can import or do them one-on-one and receive them back in real time. It's a great value to a client because it gives you that accurate checking before you make payouts. This feature is also particularly of importance to credit providers that need to monitor bad debt. The verification of data acts as a form of security and really allows you to make better lending decisions. So if you come across somebody's bank account has all of a sudden changed and the old account that you had is no longer active, you need to start asking questions. Was this a legitimate change? Is this a fraudulent change? Is this a change because of the fact that they're struggling financially and have closed the bank account or have just not been using it because they're trying to avoid banking charges and overdraft fees?
Okay. And Mandy, I've got a question on the chat coming through. Is there a cost to a company for reporting credit information on borrowers, creditors, etc.?
So it depends on the way that you do it. So Experian has a product called Collections Letters, where we can start providing collections letters to a company where they are struggling to collect their bad debt. And this tells the companies that are not paying that their details will be listed at Experian if they don't pay within a certain amount of time. However, if you don't want to take the collections product, you can still provide us with bad debt payment information, and we will load this under trade references in our reports. And you wouldn't have to pay for that.
Okay. And Mandy, can one understand the different risk levels across the entire customer portfolio?
So with Experian's portfolio risk levels, we've got a product and it's actually called Portfolio. And what Portfolio does is it segments your client base, and it tells you according to the score, which is the main feature that we use to segment, whether you've got customers in high risk, medium risk, and low risk, and how many of those are sitting in each of those risk bands. It allows you to analyze the credit risk of the businesses, and it helps our customers keep a finger on the pulse because it gives them that overall view of their debtors book. So when you start seeing that you have more customers moving into your high risk bucket, you know that you need to start making changes. There's a problem. Either your credit policies aren't working properly, or there's been a change in the market like we've had with this recent pandemic that's causing issues. In order for us to give you the insights from Portfolio, you would need to, as a small business, submit your debtors book to us every single month. And what we do is we take that debtors book information, we combine it with bureau information, and then we provide it back to you in a GUI view, which has a whole lot of graphs and indicators that you can use to monitor your collection strategies, to monitor your use of the data. And it can also be used in a positive way, because where you've got customers that are paying really well, that provides you with opportunities to upsell.
Okay. And Mandy, talking about improving one's credit score, please remind us what the value is for our members in knowing both their personal as well as their business credit score.
So all credit has the potential to be good or bad. To build up a good personal credit report and score, consumers need to ensure that they are paying their full installments on time by the required date every single month and not missing any payments. And they must make sure that they can afford the credit that they are taking out. Business credit ratings provide an indication of how sound the business is, and the commitment to being an active, responsible participant in the marketplace. Having a good credit reputation instills confidence in the business and allows financial institutions or other suppliers to provide credit, and this can lead to the next phase of business growth.
Okay. And Mandy, how can our
And I hope
SMEs...
that-
No, absolutely. How can our SMEs get their personal and business credit report from Experian?
Okay, so personal business reports from Experian are for free for life. And you can just go to the site called www.mycreditcheck.co.za. You can register on that site and you would be able to get your personal credit report as many times as you wanted. And I would suggest that you check this monthly to make sure that there's nobody doing any fraudulent activity on your personal profile, and to make sure that all your accounts are captured correctly, because if they are not, this could affect your credit worthiness. And what you would need to do is there's 5 easy steps to follow. You enter your ID, you accept the terms and conditions, you enter your email, enter a phone number, your cell phone number, where you're going to receive a one-time password. You then create your own new password. And once in the system, we are going to ask you 3 to 5 questions about your credit report that only you should know. And this is to stop any fraudulent activity. And once those are answered correctly, you will have access to your full credit report. And you'll use that login to go in as many times as you need.
Yeah, no, it's hugely important.
Yes.
Please, sorry, carry on.
Yes. And especially at the moment, because we know that there's a lot of fraudulent activity happening in the market, so you do need to keep a close eye on your reports. Your business report, small business owners need to download the questionnaire from the NSBC website. It's an editable PDF document. I know that it feels long and laborious, but the reason for this is that we need all this information to create the most informative credit profile for you, allow you to have the highest possible score so that you are presented in the best possible way to lenders or other businesses providing trade credit. So once you've completed the questionnaire, you send this to businessinfo@experian.com. Once we receive the questionnaire, we will take around 5 days to capture the details, create your score, and send back your very own credit report via MFT. This is a secure transfer process that is required for all personal data, and this requirement is due to POPIA. And the instructions on how you can access the managed file transfer, which is the MFT, will be sent to you via email.
Okay, great. Yeah, it's important, Mandy. Thank you for that. And then finally, Mandy, how can our members, our SMEs, who can they speak to discuss their personal and business credit report with your consultants at Experian?
So we've got consultants available this morning on the session, which is really great. They are located at the one-to-one tables indicated on the floor plan. They're available should you want to ask them anything general about your credit report, or if you want to bring your own report that you've now downloaded and you need some advice or you need them to explain anything, they'll be there to help you. Please be aware, the consultants will not be able to pull your own report for you, and this is due to POPIA. We are not allowed to view your data or have access to your data. We keep your data very confidential. But if you do download your report, you can share it with us and we can answer the questions. With the business credit reports, they take 5 working days to complete, so please factor this into your timing. I do know that there is going to be another session, so if you do want to do your business credit report in the next week, it should be ready for the next session that we will be hosting, and we can answer your questions there.
Great. Mandy Pretorius, Experian Head of Product, thank you so much for your insights, always invaluable and well received. And I certainly know we've made a difference to many today. And to Experian, thank you for the opportunity of hosting this awesome campaign. I've been really excited. I'm going to continue to be excited, and so does SME South Africa. They're going to continue to be excited. So Mandy, I'm sure we'll catch up soon. You have a wonderful Absolutely.
Okay.
And great talking to you. Truly grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. It's been really great to be here. Thanks, team, who've joined us today, and really looking forward to helping you on your journey to financial fitness.